Alright, so what arrows to buy for a traditional bow? This could be a longbow, or it could be a recurve bow. The first thing you want to do, if you don't have one already, find a good arrow spine chart. What an arrow spine chart is going to do, so it's going to give you a list of variables, and it's going to give you basically an idea of the best combination of those variables. One of the biggest variables is the length of the arrow. One of the other variables is the weight of the arrowhead. These typically come in 100 grains, 125 grains, and 150 grains. Arrow length could be 26 inches, 28 inches, 30 or 31 inches, and really anywhere in between, because a lot of times arrows might be custom fit to the archer. And based on those variables, an arrow is either going to be more flexible or it's going to be less flexible. And the problem is, if an arrow isn't flexible enough, you're going to have issues, and if it's too flexible, you're also going to have issues. So you want to find the right, they call this spine. To give you an idea, I guess the closer you get to 70 pounds, you're probably going to be closer to 300 spine. The closer you get to, say, down to 40 pounds, you're probably going to be running closer to 500 or 600 spine. Now, the two variables, the length of the arrow will affect the flexibility of the arrow, and the arrowhead, the weight of it, will also affect the flexibility of the arrow. Generally speaking, if you start off pretty flexible at 31 inches and you take off some weight, you're going to be reducing the flexibility of that arrow. And as you go heavier on the arrowhead, this is a 100 grain arrowhead, that's the weight. But if I was down to, say, 28 inches, and I wanted to add flexibility to the arrow, I'm gonna go heavier on the arrowhead. That will add flexibility. So what you do is you play with all these variables scientifically and creatively to kind of figure out what the ideal arrow is for you. So with the traditional bow, you have the option to go in wood. A lot of people go that route, but I'm perfectly fine using carbon arrows just because they're pretty durable and easy to manipulate and all that. So I have no problem using a carbon arrow over, with a traditional bow. In regards to a traditional bow, the one thing you want to make sure you have is actual, real feathers. If you do not have any sort of fancy shelf system, or some people getting pretty crazy these days and installing what they call whisker biscuits to avoid contact with the veins and the thing, but generally speaking, with a traditional bow, you're going to definitely want real feathers, because that's going to allow the arrow to pass through and not get all messed up. I can guarantee if you use these little, I don't know, I guess what you'd call them is synthetic, they're like rubber or vinyl or whatever they are, I can guarantee you after like 3 shots, I can guarantee you these things are going to be ripping off, and it's just a waste. So so definitely don't ever use those out of a traditional bow. Just to give you some basic things to think about. For example, most of my traditional, well, all of them right now are 45 pounds. I think 45 pounds is a good place to keep all traditional bows, just because it gives you the ability to hunt. And you know, I use my bows mostly for target shooting right now anyway. But I like to keep all my bows the same so I can shoot the same arrows out of every bow. Just to give you an idea, my arrow length is 28 inches. Out of a traditional bow, I'm using 100 grain arrowheads, and I am 28 inches, 100 grain, and 500 spine out of my traditional bows. I am 5'8", so if you're a taller guy, have a longer draw length, you know, you might be going 29 or 30. If you're shorter than me, just to give you an idea, my daughter is about 5 feet half an inch. She, out of her compound bow, shoots 26-inch arrows, but out of a traditional bow, I'm going to be setting her up with 27-inch arrows based on the spine charts for the draw weight, and I'll also be balancing that out with 150 grain arrowheads, so that's going to give it a little more flexibility for the shorter draw length. So again, her draw length 26 is what she's shooting out of the compound. I'd like to go 26, but what that's going to do is it's going to make it too stiff on a 500 spine arrow. So we're going to have to add some flexibility by counterbalancing that with a heavier arrowhead. And that'll actually be good for her, you know, around 40 pounds all the way up to 45, maybe a little more. So that'll give her some flexibility. So when you're looking to get arrows for a traditional bow, say recurve, again, carbon is fine. If you want to get wood, that's fine. Figure out your arrow length, 26, 28, 30, or anywhere in between depending on your individual needs. And you're going to want to figure out, for whatever length of the arrow you're shooting, you're going to want to figure out which arrowhead you're going to be using, whether it's 100 grains, 125, or 150. And that's going to be based on the draw weight of your bow. And again, consult the arrow spine charts. If you don't know what that is, or you don't have one, you can go to my Patreon that's on my YouTube channel under About, or it might be up on the banner. You'll find arrow spine charts there for compound bows that shoot over 315 feet per second, under 315 feet per second, and you will find arrow spine charts for recurve bows. So with the traditional bow, you'll want to use the recurve bow spine chart. Or, as a last resort, Google arrow spine chart. Tons of sources put them out there. Yeah, that's it. Figure it out. If you have any questions, leave a comment, and I will definitely try to get back to you if you need any help. But Again, just to give you an example, this is what I shoot out of my compound bow. This was last year's arrow for my compound bow, and what I'm shooting this year out of my traditional bows I had these originally at 31 inches when they came. I got them down to 28 inches. So this is a 28-inch carbon arrow. It's actually simulation wood. It has real turkey feathers, so we have no issues with contact as the arrow is being shot. And I will be shooting 100 grain arrowheads. And my bows are all 45 pounds at 28 inches. This arrow is 28 inches, so with the 28-inch arrow, I may be losing potentially a couple of pounds, because I'm going to draw that to probably about 27 inches and give myself a good inch cushion so my finger doesn't get hit by the arrowhead. So I figure I'm drawing 27 inches, and I guess the rule of thumb is you lose probably about 2 pounds an inch, you know, plus or minus. So 45 pounds, probably drawing about 43 pounds. So anyway, that's it.